You are now entering the Cue the Muses podcast. Please reserve submission of any joy meter statistics until after the program.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Cue the Muses podcast is back, episode 16. We have another guest for you, the famous, the world-renowned Cody the Williford.
Hello, hello.
Cody
vocalist for
Williford.
Cue the Muses and Kill Clouseau.
Howdy.
Kill Clouseau.
How are you, Williford?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing better. It's doing terrible.
tired.
Wow.
Not a good few weeks, I hear.
It was a really rough week. I was having computer issues. In a major way, I had to reinstall Windows. So that's always.
Are you
a
on
huge
11
step
now, or
back.
still 10?
I'm on 11. That was, part of the switch is getting to 11. There was an issue for a long time where I couldn't go to 11 because of some hardware thing, which made no sense. Puget Systems, the company that I bought the computer from, stepped up to the plate, got the techs on support, and then I got it up and running. But upon doing that, I haven't been able to access a couple of my RAID systems. One of them is 36 terabytes. The other one's 24 terabytes. Active projects on there, tens of thousands of dollars worth of work on there. And I have backups, but it would literally take me I was looking at like a 2-week setback to copy everything over.
Yeah.
Reformat drives, get the things working, put it back on drives, relink project files. And so I've already lost a week dealing with it. But, ladies and gentlemen, as of 5 minutes before entering the test room for this podcast, the last submission from one of the Puget techs solved my issue. And I have access to my drives again. And I just regained, I only lost 1 week, not 2 more weeks. And I'm going to be able to work tonight on all my projects that are in limbo. So I'm in a good mood, guys.
How many weeks was the tech call?
It's been since Monday. It's been since last Thursday because I was having issues with my computer, period. And that was part of the instigator to try a clean install.
My computer doesn't have periods anymore.
It's
old enough. It's in menopause.
I have a new one.
Oh, sorry. You said computer period. My apologies. I'll stop. No, I built my own, so I'm the only support that I have, sadly. Sometimes, sadly.
Yeah.
But you're an IT tech.
Yeah. No, I'm a computer guy. I'm many things. I wear many hats. More than this.
Cody Williford does wear many hats. It's a green one at the moment, but he has a whole closet.
Is that green? I can't. I'm
more metaphorical hats. I normally just shave my head, and because I didn't today, I'm wearing this hat because I don't want to look like a budding chorus teacher or Friar Tuck. No, I get the full horseshoe. That's it.
Oh,
I only have to shave the sides. Let's just say that.
Kurt Rogers is in the same boat. Don't feel bad. He has the horseshoe, but then he still has the one thing.
Like the Homer Simpson little thing.
Yeah. He's got the one patch. He tried to grow that out about 10 years ago, like just that part.
Like a front cube. Yeah. And who else? Yeah, Ian tried to grow it out the back. Together, they would have had a full head of hair.
Yeah. Is he still doing that?
Oh God, I hope not. It'd be like 4 feet long by now. He could use it as a weapon in combat. Braid it with like iron thread.
You're gonna fight with that guy.
Isn't there a monk? Isn't there like a monk class that has that long braid and they use it as a weapon?
Oh yeah.
I think Jackie Chan played one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so
head hair. I think they train on pubic hair and then move their way up the body.
Yeah, I would lose horribly if hair was like a class for like a weapon class. I'd be like a novice forever.
In this group, I'd be the winner.
I think you're winning the poll here.
No, it's weird watching the video actually. Afraid because that I was clean shaven, almost like no mustache. I think I had one before. The only thing that'll make me shave it is like a really bad cold. Like for like 2 weeks. If you're like dealing with snot and a mustache for 2 weeks, that thing comes off. Like I don't care how much time you put into it. It's rough. It's rough.
I know your pain, man. I used to keep a long braid, right? Like a chin braid. and it got like super long, and I kept it braided for just months and months on end. And one time I was doing construction, and I took the braid out, and I found dried concrete in it.
At least it was dried concrete.
I thought back, and I couldn't remember the last time I had poured concrete.
God. Too much heavy machinery to have something like braided to pull your head into quickly. You know?
Yeah.
You don't want your face degloved. That's the last thing you want degloved.
I don't like stuff hanging off. I don't like stuff hanging off anything on me. Like I don't like it anymore. This is as long as I let the beard get. I'm actually going to do the Wolverine again. I'm going to shave just the middle, like the reverse goatee. You ever do that?
I see that too. I can't leave it too long because then if I like fall asleep at work, people can tell right when I get up because it's all like matted to the side. So I got to keep it a little trim.
Is that what you do? You sleep at work?
No, I got in trouble for not being able to nap in kindergarten. I've never been a napper.
Oh, really?
I am full thrust until it's bedtime, and then that's like 4 or 5 hours maybe, and then back up to it.
Oh, no shit. Do you only get 4 or 5 hours of sleep?
Yeah, and that's on good nights, man.
Oh,
I try to get more, but
yeah,
never been a good sleeper.
Yeah. Well, it's this last, I am a napper. I've talked about this so many times, but I power nap like every day. I do like 2 power naps a day. I do an 11-minute and a 15-minute.
11-minute and a 15-minute. And how?
Yeah.
Have you just gotten good? You can just be like,
dude, I check it out. I first of all, the only reason I think I can do it is because I practiced meditation for years beforehand. And so I meditate to fall asleep. Okay. So it's like a part of the process. And 99% of the time I wake up within 30 seconds before the alarm goes off on an 11-minute. And then if I set it for 15 minutes, same thing. Isn't that crazy?
That's me.
That's
every
nuts,
morning.
Dude, that's nuts.
I
can't. I'm not a meditator by any means. I am not one to meditate. There's too much going on. Can't turn it down. Yeah. In fact, that's lyrics. The song that I'm in on this one. That's kind of what I wrote it about. The only time I've been close to meditation was a flotation tank. And that was like basically a religious experience. The guy let me stay like an extra 45 minutes, and it was it was amazing.
Wow.
It was pretty cool, man.
No,
you woke me up with classical music.
I had been wanting to try a float tank, and then you told me that you got to do one, man. And then I went ahead and did it, and I did love it. It's just I was just starting to get into it, and then COVID happened.
Oh,
and I was like, I don't know about going in the tank. I felt when we didn't even know what was happening. Not that I want to get in that rabbit hole, but
I mean, it was
at first I was like, I don't know about.
Been fine. They sanitize the hell out of those.
Oh, I know
but
they
it is
do.
kind of a pod of like your effervescent breath.
It's weird. It's a little weird.
Coating
in that
the walls of an egg.
Yeah.
So no, I mean it's probably a good thing not to do during a pandemic,
But it's an amazing device. Dick, do you know about float tanks? Have you ever?
I've heard of them. I got into meditation a different way with like healing from injuries and stuff, and like trying to stay still and do things that didn't involve moving. And then I realized when I started reading into it, I realized that as a guitar player, and not a singer for a long time, I found that playing music was my meditation, because I would, rehearsing with a group with songs that I know, and I fall back to muscle memory. I realized that my mind would literally become absolutely blank, and there would be no thought. And it was just movement. It was just movement and patterns. And that was like my meditation, because everything I read into meditation was you try to come in a state of stillness, and there's no question, there's no voice, there's no anything, there's just
emptiness,
breathing,
empty mind.
Yeah.
And I think that would be attainable depending on how hot the storage facility is that we are rehearsing in with other band members. I think that kind of temperature helps, determine how much of a meditative state you can be in, for sure.
That's a good point. And I think another thing about that is I agree. I consider music a mode of meditation. I definitely, it's one of those things where to truly get totally enraptured by it is like a flow state, and that in itself almost feels like a meditation. There's different types of experiences that you can have through meditation, though. So it's like a completely still one where you're literally, you are trying to blank your mind out, but what's happening is you're actually kind of watching your thoughts go by, because inevitably you acknowledge, oh, my
third person,
my mind is actually a freight train of thoughts. Even when I think it's blank, it's still actually, there's like all these subconscious things, and it becomes almost a movie image in front of you. And you kind of are like, there's a good analogy of like you being the sky, and then your thoughts are clouds, and all the clouds can happen, but it doesn't change the ultimate essence that is the sky. And that's kind of something you can kind of reflect on. I think all of that kind of stuff is so vital. And I think that there's a lot of people that don't necessarily have anything like that. And I think for those people, life can be kind of
really hard.
Yeah, really, really hard.
Really
I think
hard.
this is a missing link for some people, you know, having something like that.
Yeah, those are the people that you know, shoot someone else for not using a blinker. You know, they just find a hobby, relax. Come on, man. It's not a big of a deal. Small flight.
Marcus Aurelius's Meditation is a book that I really like to just like randomly open a page.
He's great.
Yeah, you think about who he was and what he was going through when he wrote everything. You know, when he wrote those passages, that was his evening retreat from war, from, you know, the whatever crusade. He was Roman emperor, and he was out. He wasn't in, you know, sitting on a throne somewhere. He was actually out conquering and fighting, and he would retreat every night. And that was his meditation, was to just write down it was like the story of the day or the thought of the day. And they're so random, you know, his day-to-day writings. And I think it's a good thing that I started doing too. I don't do it all the time, but I always keep a notebook with me, and especially with music. Like tonight, I rehearsed with a group tonight, and I just, you know, write down my thoughts on it. And a lot of times learning new songs, you know, I write down feelings and atmospheric, you know, references, like, and sometimes colors, you know, like blue melody, you know, in the thoughtful section, and then, you know
what synesthesia is?
Yeah. We've talked about that.
We talked about it a couple episodes ago, but
okay,
nice. Big time, right, Cody?
Yeah, it's something I am afflicted by, for sure.
Explain to the audience what that is. What is synesthesia?
God, it's different for everyone, but just certain, I guess certain wires are crossed where sounds can be tasted. You know, things, you know, you can see music. You can hear smells. It's a weird thing. And that might be, you know, kind of exaggeration of all of them being crossed. But for me, I can most of the time, you know, visualize music in a weird way, which is, it's pretty fascinating. And the, you know, the body effects and stuff, certain things will resonate and just send, like, I'm talking, you know, chills from tips of your ears down to your nuts, the little, you know, woof, ha, kind of things will hit. And, you know, it's something that can happen on stage when like a good harmony hits or something, the entire body resonates. And I don't know, it's very intense.
Yeah.
But it helps with the writing. But that kind of sounded like you were, you know, describing, you know, the feeling of the blue.
Yeah.
You know, what does that even mean? But
and Devin Townsend, have you heard his music?
Yeah.
That dude, he has intense synesthesia. And so he was talking about his songwriting. It's a really great conversation, actually, with him and John Petrucci and Tosin from Animals as Leaders. And
on Beato's channel?
It's on Beato's channel.
Yeah,
Rick Beato's YouTube channel is such a fantastic place to listen to really amazing interviews with musicians. And he was talking about, basically, he'll write out songs, but literally it's like you're writing colors down, like blue here, purple there. And he knows what these soundscapes are, you know, for the song. And I was like, for me, remember, I used to describe, I'm visual, but more like atmosphere. I would say, like, I feel like this is a canyon, or I'd say I'm picturing clocks and gears, and I'm kind of picturing like this would be a flying thing. You definitely would be in air for this. And you guys are like, all right, what the fuck are we supposed to do?
No, I'm like,
with
are
that?
you sure you don't want another love song? Are you sure?
Yeah. No,
so I can write about that.
So Speaking of flying, I got a story. The 2 weeks ago, I was in Washington D.C. doing this training, and it was like a classroom setting. And so when the instructor started, the instructor did like an icebreaker. You know, he said, "Okay, hey, my name is whatever his name was, Carlos Pedro or whatever." He says, He said, I'm gonna go around the room, and I want everybody to say your name, you know, who you are, what you do for a living, and then say what useless superpower would you like to have? And so I was like, oh, I already know what I'm gonna say, because I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, this is perfect, because my buddy's band did a music video where everybody in the band had useless superpowers, right? So, and I used one of the powers in the video. And anybody listening, this is these two guys other than me. They're in this band Kill Clouseau, and they did a video where everybody had useless superpowers.
Not useless.
When it came to
just shitty.
There we go. Way better.
The first guy said, "I wish I had the power to fly," and I'm thinking in my head, that's not a useless superpower. That's a good one. So
it's only like, 3 inches off the ground.
He's not doing it right. And when it got to me, I said, I wish, you know, my name's Dick. I'm a construction VP dude, you know, whatever. And I said, my useless superpower is the ability to fly, but I can only fly 6 inches off the ground and only in the presence of Ward Singer. I added the next one because that was,
God.
Wasn't that one of the? Which one of you guys had the power to fly 6 inches off the ground?
That was me. My name was Lowsore. My mom still calls me Lowsore in text. I love you, Lowsore.
Thankfully, no one calls me the asthmatic Flash.
Yeah, you were the asthmatic Flash.
Not good. I've been thinking about more and more powers though for that video, and I got a good one that I would do if we ever refilmed.
Yeah,
you ready?
Oh, let's
no
do a
longer
second
the
one.
asthmatic Flash.
Yeah, let's see it.
Okay.
Let's see
It's going to be Sticks and Stones, the name of the power.
Okay.
Right, so you're completely impervious to physical harm, but words hurt you. So take a bullet to the face, and then they're like, "Oh, fuck you!" Instantly. No,
that's awesome.
But yeah, impervious to damage, but
that's
words,
great,
man.
That's awesome. Well, guys, yeah, Dick is referencing, you know, the band that me and Cody were in for a decade called Kill Clouseau. We were kind of like a prog rock band, and we went for it for a long time. We did a couple albums. We went to Applehead recording in Woodstock, New York. We recorded an album with the producers from Coheed and Cambria. We thought we were on the road to really making it, but you know what? We didn't, right then, and so then we made Cue the Muses later.
All music became free.
Yeah, all music became free, and everything changed. But I do have a clip of exactly that song, so it was perfect, Dick. I pulled out a minute clip of 2 of our music videos out of the 4 that we had, and I'm going to go ahead and cue it up.
This was though, right? This is Lee Dias.
This is Lee Dias. This is when we had Nils Mann as our drummer, great drummer. He was with us for the majority of Kill Clouseau in the 10-year span. Mark Hayes was our drummer for like the last 3 years, maybe 4. I can't quite remember. It's a little fuzzy, but
and then we
either way, this was.
Oh no, we're more. We had more.
What?
We had more
drummers. I know. Well, we went through but yeah, I think that's why Mark was.
You can't just stop on the list. Let's go. Who else?
We got we had Todd Bolden. Yeah, and he did great. But he withdrew. I mean, we didn't.
Real life happens.
And then we had another guy that I'm not going to name that was a phenomenal drummer, but we did have to let him go just because it was, chemistry is important, and
if Mercury's in retrograde and it's messing you up, might not work.
It was a little too superstitious. There was a little bit too much of the blame game on tough nights of performing. I want
to see the video clip.
All right, here's the video clip. I'm queuing it up.
There she blows,
awesome.
Yeah.
Wait,
First music video I ever made.
So what?
This was back in like 2007 or 2006.
I mean, it was filmed at a restaurant that's not opened anymore. Like it's all, you know, it's history.
Standard definition, prosumer level camcorders. Go ahead, Dick.
Ash, you were. I want to recap all the superheroes.
Yeah, we have names for everybody.
You're low soar who could only fly 6 inches off the ground. Cody, you were. What was your name?
The Asthmatic Flash. It was super fast, but I had to stop every like 10, 15 feet and hit the inhaler.
And then what was the guy? There was one guy that was like working out. I didn't understand though. He's working out on the pipes or something. He didn't
was it Nils? That was Nils, yeah.
So I think his power was he could like read minds, but he couldn't understand the language he could read it in.
Only language.
He was a foreigner.
He was foreigners. I guess,
like the book that he was reading said English for foreigners, so he could read minds, but he couldn't understand the language, so he had to translate anything he was hearing.
And it took a while.
And then John, it took a while. And John our bass player, mediocre matter mover.
Yeah.
Mediocre matter.
So he could only move light stuff. He tried the oranges, but he couldn't do it. So he got the bag of chips.
He got the potato chips. And you can see the string. You can see the string on the chips.
No, totally.
No, you cannot. The videography was.
See, I mean, you can see traces of that in Cue the Muses all day long, right? Like it's always been terrible humor.
The bullet that does the.
I know. There's good stuff, guys. You can find that full video with other stuff in it on YouTube. If you look up Kill Clouseau, we will pop up, and you can see that whole video.
Oh, it was
good. Just gotta put a link to it in the description when we put this on YouTube.
Yeah, we got to get better about remembering to put links.
Whatever location, people's house, our houses, neighbor had a car, so like, hey, can we borrow that and jack it up for a bit? And hey, this restaurant, can we fake a robbery when you guys close? Cool, it was nice. We were able to do it. Didn't cost any money for sets or location fees. It was all mama's house.
You know what's interesting about that? As a video maker, it was my first music video. We made it, and then I edited it, and at the end of all of it, I realized. Like I literally finished the entire thing. And then for the first time, it dawned on me. I was like, we didn't play any instruments in this.
No, we never played. We never. We never performed. Hired actors.
You made it all the way to the end and realized you didn't do it.
Dude, I edited the entire video. And at no point did it dawn on me. There's no performance takes.
Yeah. We pay this guy to fake a shit. But no, we can't play any instruments. We're paid actors.
I was like, oh my god, yeah.
We did, but
the next videos we did.
So no one even knew who was doing what. That's kind of cool too.
What do you mean?
I guarantee if watching that video, the fact that we didn't play instruments, do you think people would have guessed I was the singer?
That's interesting. I never thought of that.
Because I don't think my singing voice doesn't necessarily fit with me. At least that was the experience we had. We played metal shows and stuff, and they would just be like, arms are kind of crossed, and then the eyes, they would kind of drop.
Yeah, because everyone was expecting you to sing like gruff, especially with how many bands we were paired with that don't sing clean at all, and then this operatic thing comes out of that guy. But you're right. I never even thought of people that didn't know us. If they saw that video, they wouldn't know who would have thought
was what.
Huh?
I don't know.
Interesting.
I think maybe I'd pick John as the bass player. To be honest, I'd be like, that's bass guy, bass player, bass player. But the other three, I don't think I could guess just by looks.
I might have thought
you as the singer.
Would you think? I feel like I'd still be because I'd almost think maybe Nils. Like people might assume that. Isn't that weird? Anyway, let's move on to other concepts. So the cool thing is that, me and Dick started making Cue the Muses, which for those of you who don't know and somehow stumbled into this crazy podcast, it is a sci-fi comedy show, 30-minute long episodes. Within each episode, a new song off of our rock album is unveiled in the form of a music video. And as part of the unfolding story, we battle an evil AI. We're trying to save worlds. Humanity with the help of muses. We mind travel into people's minds. I mean, how fun does all this sound? CueTheMuses.com, everybody. Go to YouTube or CueTheMuses.com. You can watch it there. And Cody it's one of the singers, because see, we changed singers on every song, and Cody, I was able to bring back. It's the first song we got to write together in almost 10 years.
Yeah, about a decade for sure.
Yeah, and you know, you paired up with Dick Singer, Big Dave from Fighting Giants, and so it was like duet. You guys were a duet, and I think that made it like kind of an insane. And it's a 9-minute song, so you guys still both got to sing the length of a normal song and within the one song.
That's the beauty of long progressive songs. You know, you think your radio's broken. I'm like, wait, it's not. How is it 16 o'clock? You're like, oh, it's Tool. My clock isn't set to military time. It's literally a 60, an outro of a 16, 17-minute song.
Yeah, but they're not like, you know, it wasn't it. I got the same comment from multiple people when we were in production of this thing. And the comment that I kept getting with every song was that, man, I didn't realize listening to it, I had no idea that 8 minutes had gone by. Everyone unanimously that heard it or that has heard it said, you know, it's definitely long. It's definitely seven to 9 minute, you know, time frame. Sorry, but everyone said
it's not a check your watch song though.
Yeah, when you listen to it, it doesn't feel like that much time.
Yeah, you're not like, oh God.
I've heard long songs, you know, like I won't name any names, but I've heard there's some bands out there that have like, you know, their typical 3.5 minute songs, and then they'll have an album where the last song is like 14 minutes long. I'm like, that's interesting, and then it's definitely like, okay, all right, yeah.
What I think that's for the it's for the critics and the people who review it for like language violations. So you 3-minute songs all the way throughout, no cursing, and then you curse at the very end of the 14-minute last song.
No, I'm going to curse right up front in the first one. I'm going to curse in the first word.
To hide it at the very end.
The first song I ever did myself, vocals and everything, the first word in the song was fuck.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, fuck.
My time has come and I will claim it.
The first song we wrote, what, Single?
No, the first one we did was
no.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yep.
That's it.
Damn.
Which exists on our EP.
What was it called?
Children's Stories.
Children's Stories.
Yeah, it's great.
That was the song that made it. That was the first song we had the band going, and Cody was the last to join the band, and we so we had like four songs written. That's it. It was still in its infancy.
Did you guys use like working titles before
oh yeah, Ash always is a working title.
Yeah. For sure. That's my favorite. What was
all right, guys? Let's play Brad Pitt. You're like, what? No, it's
Brad Pitt. I didn't come up with Brad Pitt.
Yeah, you did. You did Brad Pitt. You did.
I don't think I did.
I named the song Brad Pitt.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can tell these two have been in a band together.
Oh no, I mean it was the same thing. Like, you know, you were writing about Blue. Ash would name the song how he felt when he wrote it in a way. Like something would stick out, and that would just be what it was.
Like cool song.
Yeah, cool song. It was a cool song. It was. We never finished that one, did we? We never recorded or finished.
No, and you know what? I revisited it like a few years ago when we were doing Cue the Muses. Me and Dick were writing, and it almost made it back as one of the ones I presented to Dick. I added a lot and changed a lot of things around. It was a much more interesting song
because it did need work, I think.
Yeah, it never quite.
I mean, it was
together.
Cool, but
yeah, it wasn't that cool.
I mean, it was cool, but
wasn't that cool?
Isn't it such a weird idea to think about? You know. Writing a song and then deciding when it's done, like that idea that I've been thinking about this a lot lately. That idea of when you're working with a song and you're going through parts, and as a guitarist or as a vocalist, I think it's kind of all the same. Where
me, it's normally when the band stops playing.
That's when you're done.
That's when it's done.
It's over.
We did have one where I trailed off on the end, I think, but that was written in. No, honestly, that is a good point, because with the stuff that we wrote, vocals weren't always needed. Honestly, the music itself, you know, if nothing needed to be added, there's nothing worse than adding on superfluous anything.
Yeah,
you know,
we had definitely some stretched
vocals,
out instrumental sections for sure.
but there was nothing missing, and that's another thing about these songs, and all of them, even the ones that have not been released yet. From what I've heard, there's nothing extra. There's no fluff or fat. It just seems like it needs to be there, which is awesome for a long song, for any long song. Very few artists, I think, do that. Like Buckethead does it. You're interested the whole time. It's long, but there's no even words in that one, and it still holds it. But there's, it'd be hard to write something on top of it because all that's needed is there.
Yeah.
For sure.
And for me, Tool does this. I mean, they're still my favorite band all the time. I mean, huge influence, and they have these massive instrumental sections, and I'm like, and it's not a bunch of shredding and notes. It's just rhythms and
ambiance,
entrancing. Yeah, it's like enveloping. Groove. Yeah, it's groove.
The live shows, man, are great too. God, the last tour. Whoo. That was fun.
Well, I got to take Tristan to this last Rockville, and so he got to experience it.
Lucky bastard!
It was great.
Was that his first concert?
That was me and Dick took both Kyron and Tristan to see Polyphia in Orlando 3 months prior to that, and that was the first real rock concert for Tristan.
That was an awesome show.
Sorry, I just to give you an idea of how different of an experience childhood Tristan had from me. My first concert was DC Talk at Night of Joy when they were a Christian rap band.
Oh, wow.
This is before they were a rock band. This was when they were a rap band.
That's awesome.
It was ridiculous.
That's awesome.
That was literally my first concert was that.
That's killer, though.
New Kids on the Block.
I'd rather been that.
At the Civic Center, I didn't even understand who they were. I was so young. But I went with my mom and my stepdad.
Dude,
I don't know. I didn't even like music that much yet. I was that young.
Did they have a band? Did they have like a band, or was it like
they were definitely singing. They were as a band, and they had tons of extras. I just remember like full choirs up there at some time.
Like a show up there.
Yeah, I mean they filled the stage with people. They had literally a full choir as a segment for some of the songs.
That's pretty
so
odd.
Like with bleacher stands. It was probably cool. I mean, I just wasn't, I got into music a little bit late, There were a few things that stood out to me. One of the first things that ever I latched onto that I asked, music, period.
Oh, okay.
Music. One of the few things that stuck out to me as a kid, I would ask to put it on was Genesis, and it was Shock the Monkey. Shock the monkey. I mean, it's like, I don't even remember how it goes now, but I've always liked Phil Collins automatically. He was one of the he might be the first musician I ever liked.
We cover.
Yeah.
I Don't Care Anymore.
Yeah. We covered a Phil Collins song.
Anymore.
Timbo was talking
when it's wrong and you know that it's right. Yeah, it's good. It's an angry song.
Yeah.
I don't care no more. Yeah, he's just pissed.
Cover Mama, Genesis' song Mama. You remember that one?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
It was like Timbo called me. He's like, "Hey man, we should do the cover of Mama." I was like, "What?"
He's talking about that with you now?
Yeah. Like we're writing.
No,
we're writing music together. And he's like, "We should do a cover of Mama." I was like, "I have no idea what that is." He says, "Genesis, man."
Cut it in half and then do Danzig Mother. The Mama Mother combination song would be amazing.
Mama.
That would be good. Yeah, we did a medley. We had a medley at one point.
Oh God,
we did Paul Abdul Straight Up that went into
So Neat.
Oh, straight up now, tell me it's gonna be you.
Seamlessly into
Never
always make me smile when I'm feeling down. You give me such a ride. I'm totally
when I was in grade school, I won a poster at like an assembly, like for a perfect attendance or something, and they were like, "Would you like to have the Minnie Mouse poster or the Garfield poster?" And I was like, I said, "Let me get that Garfield poster." Yeah. And they were like, "Yeah, come on up and get it." And I came and got it. And then when I got home and I rolled it out and put it on the wall, Paula Abdul.
Hell yeah.
No way.
Way better.
Whoa,
way better.
Dude, I had the biggest crush on Paula Abdul as a kid, as a little kid. I thought she was like so hot.
I thought she was pretty until I saw Salma Hayek, and then I was like, "Who? Paula who?"
Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson was mine. Like
really?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Janet Jackson was.
That's a bad bitch.
Yep.
And then eventually,
you remember that song "If"?
Where
they do the tribal dancing in it. Oh yeah.
That whole album, the whole album she did with Michael, Scream or whatever, was great.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah. No, there's some good stuff.
And that was a groundbreaking video. The one that they did together. It's black and
background and shit.
Yeah, it's black and white. They're in outer space.
Yeah. Man.
I want to say that was the first music video to break $1 million on production budget.
Yeah. It was a big deal. Everyone talked about it.
Oh yeah.
And it's the first video you referenced after watching our My Soul is an Element music video when I finished editing it with Nadira. Yeah. And it's like, dude, that's better than Michael Jackson's Scream video. I don't know if the rest of the world will agree with you, but
the visual effects and stuff are great. As soon as I saw the visual effects, I was like, you did it. It looks better than a lot of the production TV stuff. That's big budget. Hi,
thanks, man.
Sorry, my dog is asking for attention. If you hear the grunts, it's not me. I swear.
Oh, I don't hear it.
She deserves it. Yeah. She deserves it. You give it to her.
Oh, giving it to her. No, she is definitely spoiled. This poor thing. We don't have any kids, so we dote on her.
Yeah, I miss my kids and my dogs. I miss my dogs. I've been gone from the house now for about a week. I'm up here rehearsing with these guys and working. And my son actually texted me while we were doing this podcast. He's like, "Hey, Dad, can you send me the original yearbook picture from this year?" And I'm like, "I'm doing a podcast, man." And then when we went to the music video, I found it, shot it to him real quick. I'm like, I can't wait to get home.
Does he reply with Willie Nelson or like, "Oh man, look at my life"? Yeah, text me with songs like "Cats in the Cradle." Pay attention to me, Dad. I used to do that. Yeah. My dad would ignore me. I'd play that on real loud in my room, and the cat's in the cradle and I'm like, yeah, you're gonna regret it, Dad. One day.
I got Kyron on a text thread with Curtis, and maybe against my better judgment, but I had Kurt Rogers, who's also involved in Judy Muses. And I had Kyron do. I said top 5 because that's a thing that me and Kurt have always done. It's always about who's in your top 5 right now, musically. You know what I mean? And so Kyron sent his top 5, and I want to hear it. That was a proud dad moment for me. And let me I don't want to take too long, but I'll find it. Oh, I got it pinned to the top. So Kyron's top 5 are, the first one is Korn. He's in the Korn, and this is no order, but Korn, Acid Bath, 9 Inch Nails.
Nice.
Oh, he's into 9 Inch Nails now. Yeah, okay.
Deftones, and the Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, wow.
Nice. I've never been excited about Deftones. I'm not going to go into that on the podcast, though. My favorite Deftones song is the one that Maynard sings on. I'm like,
me too.
The rest is just
me too.
Mine is definitely 7 words. It's because I like it when people cuss. I like it. I get it.
And is it top 5 when you play that game? Is it of all time or at that time?
No, it's
right
usually
now.
It's
right
now. Yeah. Working top 5.
So much.
So my current top 5.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
In no order is Mastodon, Gojira.
Hell yeah.
Mastodon, Gojira, Baroness.
Nice.
A band called In Search of Sun. And
S-U-N or S-O-N?
S-U-N. In Search of Sun. They are funky. They remind me a little bit of Kill Clouseau, to be perfectly frank. Like they have
them.
Yeah, they have a similar style. 15 years ago.
What's the name of it again?
In
Search of Sun.
Yeah, and then man, the number 5 is always back and forth. But right now, I guess I gotta say Moontooth is the other one.
Moontooth.
It's a toss up. Moontooth and Wolfgang Van Halen. Wolfgang Van Halen's new stuff is
does Moontooth, is the cover of their main album like a giant white tooth and a kind of a light sky blue background? Because there's a band, I'm wondering if you came across this same band that I really came across a year ago, and I couldn't remember their name, and you're saying Milktooth, and I think that was it.
Moontooth.
Do they have some instrument? Oh, Moontooth?
Yeah. Milktooth is what you...
Oh, I think Milktooth might be the band that
I don't think milk steak is a thing either. Ash.
That's a tour. That's a tour right there. Moon tooth and milk tooth.
Moon tooth and milk steak.
What's your guys' top 5 right now?
Totally. Go for it, Cody. You're up next.
Mine's weird. So playlist, honestly, Polyphia quite a bit. Really just, I mean, driving in general, it makes the ride so much better. And most of the songs are about timed with my drive. So it's like, I can listen to these two. I'll be at work, you know.
Oh, is that how it's pronounced?
Polyphia.
Oh, Ren is,
Polyphia, I think so.
Is it?
I think it's a made up word. So
yeah. Polyphia.
I'll listen. Okay. Yeah, I'll trust you because, you know, I didn't make up the word. Polyphia.
But you said Ren.
Ren's also amazing. No, Ren is probably my number one right now across the board. I
got to check out his latest stuff. He's so talented.
Dude, the writing is insane. He's so
it's
good.
Ridiculous.
So
he's
good.
Really, really talented.
And I like the beats. The lyrics are insane. He's an amazing rapper. Amazing.
He's also an insane singer. Have you seen him do the street performance with that guy in London? Like they just have a guitar amp out
better than anyone I've ever heard. Literally, his Bob Marley cover is insane. Oh yes, Ren's amazing. Prof, P-R-O-F, like Midwest rapper, kind of I don't know. He's hilarious, absolutely hilarious. I sent you one of his videos called Bar Breaker.
Comedy rapper.
Yes, most certainly. He is incredible, and just I don't know. He gets me hyped. Like put him on and like clean the house. You know, like it's just some of the stuff, just, you know, and the lyrics are, you know, a little combative. So it's fun to kind of sing in my head. It's like, I'd never say this to someone, but he's like hilariously threatening. You know, he's like, beefing with me is a mistake. Boy, I know you smell different when you are awake. You're like, whoa. Oh my. Okay, so he's watching you sleep. That's kind of creepy, you know. And it just funny lines, you know, like never mess with a millionaire who mows his own motherfucking lawn. You know, that's probably a good point. Nice. And then another go-to with him is when people tell me I'll regret it in the morning, I sleep till noon. I'm like, hell yeah. All right. So people tell me I'll regret it in the morning, I sleep till noon. You're like, all right, all right. Oh, nice. So I guess that's 3. I'll give you one more. Run the Jewels. Run the Jewels for sure.
Heard that either.
I've been on a real big hip hop. That's Killer Mike.
Sounds like it. Is it Killer Mike? Okay.
And LP, a white New York guy who makes all the beats. Okay. It's insane. Okay. Like they're on their like 5th album now. Okay. Run the Jewels 1, 2, and I think that at that point they did like a Meow the Jewels, where like they just used a bunch of cats as a joke for Christmas. Okay. An entire album with just cats. Yeah, it was hilarious. And when you got that kind of money, I guess you can go fuck around. You know, we save up for years to record one song in another city, but they can just throw cats on a whim. Yeah. And it's mastered really well too. Nice. Yeah, they spent lots of money. It's hilarious. But yeah, Run the Jewels you should definitely check out. They're fun too. And then I guess there's one more. Playlist. I'll let you guys. I'll let you go. I got 4 for you for now. Okay.
Well, mine. I'm sorry.
I remember. Yeah, sorry. One thing I've been listening to quite a bit. Toby Fox would be, I guess, the composer. He made a game called Undertale, and he also did the soundtrack for it.
I've played it. Yeah, that's awesome.
The soundtrack from start to finish is incredible. Like I can literally listen to it from start to finish, and it's and it goes from MIDI to orchestral to metal, like in a weird way, and it's seamless. And it's just the composition's incredible. The guy's a genius, straight up. But yeah, the music, the Undertale soundtrack, man. Toby Fox, I think.
Toby Fox?
Yeah, Toby Fox. Amazing composer.
I wrote it down.
He created that entire video game himself.
I'm writing it down too. Because I play Undertale, but I don't.
Hilarious game too.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun, Ash. You and Tristan would get you guys would get a kick out of that game.
I don't play video games anymore. Every time I do,
your son.
I know. And even that just got me so minimally back into video games. I still, after 20 minutes, I was like,
you're saying now is the time I need to challenge you in Soul Calibur 2?
Oh God, I'm sure
we talked about Soul Calibur on the last episode.
I know Soul Calibur came up in the last episode, which I didn't say at the time. You said Mitsurugi was your jam, dude. Mitsurugi was my jam.
That was
I dressed as Mitsurugi on the Kill Clouseau live video that you can find of us performing Tom Sawyer at Floyd's Music Store.
And I dressed up as a
Friar Tuck
monk. Yeah, monk. We hit our heads.
Your Friar Tuck.
Do you remember the? Oh God! Do you remember the spite facial hair that I grew for Fresh Market because they made me shave my mustache?
You have it in one of the live videos that we have.
So it was literally, it was. I couldn't have any hair below the lip, so it was a mustache across the face like this. All this was shaved, so it was a line across, and then it hooked over my ear like a candy cane. It was the most hideous haircut on the planet, but it fit their rules, and I wore it because I was like, "Screw you guys for making me." It
kind of looked good.
It kind of did because it was unique.
It kind of looked good.
It was unique,
and it's on film. It's on film.
Yeah, well, I gotta go. I literally just like hooked a beard on. Like that's kind of what it looked like. Oh, it's insane. It's
I will find it for next episode.
Yeah, next episode. That's fine. I mean, it was a pretty. The fact it's immortalized on film is pretty amazing.
It's pretty great. I actually came across some old DVDs that I need to convert this back to digital because I don't have access to the old hard drives anymore.
I have all of our old DVDs, by the way.
Yes,
including like Backstage Lounge, like those recordings.
Yeah, well, on Big Daddies, they would give you that terrible.
They were great. No, it's dead. He's dead, right? They were awful.
Backstage Lounge was Gainesville, right? That was
hell yeah.
Yeah,
that's where I met my wife.
I saw OTEP there.
Yeah.
But I wasn't at
Backstage Lounge.
I wasn't at the OTEP show. I was playing Backstage Lounge with somebody, and I was talking to the guy, and he was showing me the video of OTEP that played the night before. I was like, that is crazy cool. It sounds awful.
Yeah, it does. It's not good.
That is
like cafeteria sound.
Yeah.
Right? It was like assembly sound. That's what a middle school band sounds like.
It was like 04. It had to be like 04, 03.
I literally met my wife at the Backstage Lounge at one of our shows.
Yeah.
That's when I first met Catherine. She was there with I guess Christina, but it was the band that opened for us was her therapists. They had a group called Toy Grenades.
Oh, yeah.
I have a shirt still from it. Toy Grenade.
That's
but right. She's like,
I didn't know that was a therapist.
It was a therapist. The wife and husband were therapists, and they had a band. It was like, ironically enough. But yeah, that's when I met Catherine.
Yeah.
Oh, funny story on the way home, real quick, Ash.
Okay. Yes.
Remember, we were driving back from Gainesville, you and me, from that show.
Yeah.
And we were like, hey, do you have anything on you, man? Like that I don't know about? And he's like, no. And you start taking these big ash like nasal swaths of the air. You're just testing. You're wafting so much of the air around. You're like, yeah, it does kind of smell like really good weed. And both of us, I mean, at least 2 minutes of like heavy sniffing. So I rolled down the window, and then we realized they were just watering all the crops with shit water. And we were just like deep breathing for 2 minutes on I-10, but it was just doo-doo water. Fun times. Great story. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry for interrupting that.
My top five. My current top five. It changes all the time. I'm not going to put Tool in there because they're just a constant.
Yeah.
They're just always there. I check back in on them every other week,
Current all-time top five is a different list, and that's
a totally different list. Well, kind of. Actually, one of them is still currently in rotation, which is Mars Volta. They put out a new album before Welcome to Rockville, and it's pretty chill. It's like a lot more pulled back than most of their. Yeah, they have two albums like that. Octahedron is like almost too mellow for me.
Really?
And then this new one is Flashburn or Blackburn. I'm bad with album names now because of Spotify. I just see the picture and I know which album it is.
You're bad with names and faces.
Yeah, I'm bad with all of it. I can't see for shit. I just make videos.
Yeah, but Mars Volta is great. Mars Volta is great.
I love Mars Volta, man. They're just, but this album, Cody, you should check it out because I think it's tamed down, but it's also still totally Mars Volta-esque. They have an acoustic version of the entire album that they put out like a month later. I was like, what the hell? This is amazing. So both are very cool. Another band that I just discovered that I'm really enjoying is Vulcan.
Vulcan.
You
Vulcan.
sent me,
I sent you a song. Yeah. There's a specific song that I heard first called, what was it, Dick? I sent it to you. Ornaments. Something Ornaments.
I love when a single song gets you on
was
like
that the one you sent me last week?
Yeah. It's the only song I sent to you of theirs, and it's like amazing. And I was like, okay, who is this band? The whole album's good. That's still my favorite song on it.
Binding Ornaments.
Binding Ornaments. Dude, Cody, check it out. I think you'll really like it. It's got it sounds kind of like 3.
Okay.
It's like kind of more cohesive and more straight rock, like heavy rock than that a bit. It's a little bit more retro-y.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Right? It surprised me.
Yeah.
It surprised me when you said I opened that up when I was cooking dinner, and I already had my headphones in. I just got back from a bike ride, and I was like, "Oh, this is good."
These guys are good, man. It's good. I think they're somewhere out of Europe. Most of these, well, I guess this other band's also out of Europe. Clone, spelled with a K. Have you heard them? I like them a lot, man. Like they're really chill, like melodic.
Wait,
rock.
I don't think I've heard Clone. I've heard something that looks exactly like them.
Chon.
Bad joke. Go ahead.
Have you heard them though?
No, I haven't.
Oh, they're cool, man.
I'll check them out though.
I don't know if you'll like Clone as much as Vulcan, but for me, like Clone is like it's the kind of music that I could fall asleep to, even
as long
though
as I don't
straight
hate the
heavy
singer,
rock.
I'll like the song. I'll like the band most likely.
It's like there's something about the sound that's just like really soothing to me.
Quick question.
But it's heavy melodic rock.
Is the lead singer Janis Joplin?
It is a male singer. I don't. This band's out somewhere.
No, is it
out of Sweden?
Is the lead singer Janis Joplin?
No.
Then I'll probably like it.
Is that a thing for you?
I hate Janis Joplin.
Wow. So you like all bands without Janis Joplin?
Without Janis, any band that does not have Janis Joplin singing for it, I like.
Wait, what about that guy that sounds just like Janis Joplin?
Who's that?
He's fine.
He's
some
a country,
unlucky soul.
He's a country singer. Norm Macdonald had him on his show. Hold on, I'll find his name.
Norm? On the Norm Show or
on the Norm Show?
The Norm Podcast.
Macdonald, it's the show. It's a podcast, but he had on the show. If you go on Netflix and watch Norm Macdonald's show, he had the country guy on there. Hold on, I'll find his name. This won't take long. Norm Macdonald, the country guy, country guest, and it was. When he sings, when he talks, Billy Joe Shaver.
Billy Joe Shaver.
Billy Joe Shaver. He has about 2.5 fingers on his right hand. And when he talks, when he sings his song, I hear Janis Joplin. It was insane.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it was like the same.
I'm going to look it up, but I'll be honest, I'm not excited.
Yeah.
That's like when someone's like, "Oh, this really stinks. Smell it," and they stick their finger in your face. You know, I'm talking about.
It's terrible.
I want me to experience.
That entire, if you watch the Norm Macdonald show with Billy Joe Shaver on it, like I was
I'm surprised I haven't seen it
from start to finish, and I was entertained by his music too. It was cool. But
we're good. Sorry. Wow, this chair is untrustworthy. That was very close. I don't know if you saw that or not.
It would have really made this episode end.
It would have made this shelf destroyed for sure.
So Clone
with a K.
Colon? Is there an umlaut? You said
kind of like Carnival. Right? Carnival is really good too, but that's not. Really I burnt their catalog out like a couple of years ago.
You should buy music, Ash. That's not good for the artists.
Yeah. Well. Whatever. Iadola.
Sorry, I'm just kidding. It's getting
Have
late.
You guys heard
I get
of
really
Iadola?
punny and dad
Iadola? No.
EIODOLA.
Old McDonald had a farm.
I've never heard it said out loud. I think that's how it's pronounced. They're really good. They did a couple of Iadola.
Iadola.
They're fucking good.
Like
I've been listening to them for years.
Like the Ayatollah of rock and roller, but it's Iadola.
I think I have.
Some of it's a bit emo, but for 90% of it is not, and it's just like really good rock. It's got screaming in it. It's got amazing singing in it. It's got tons of progressive, like in your face stuff, and then it's got slow, drawn out stuff that feels like immediate classics to me. I think that they're really good. They also have a little bit of a Circa Survive essence
Ooh,
to them.
Okay.
But I like them better than Circa Survive. And in fact, I think
is it the singer you like better?
It's all of it.
Okay.
I like better. And I think they paired up with Circa Survive for a couple of songs. I think they know each other. I think they're all out in LA.
That's cool.
And I think Mars Volta, the singer from Mars Volta, teamed up with them for a song too. Or no, their guitar player.
That's some three pretty incredible voices.
No, it was amazing. Like they're all kind of high singers.
Yeah.
I dig it. And then the last band I'll throw out there that I've totally been hooked on, and they're different than all these bands because they're much poppier, but Fish in a Birdcage. And it's kind of like they've got
Fish
this underlying Celtic style, like voicing, like I think they're at Ireland or something. So, but it's not as dramatic as like the Cranberries in any fashion. It's just subtly there.
With the tanks
and the music style is totally different than Cranberries. So don't begin to think that they're like Cranberries, but just really smart.
Cranberries are awesome.
Catchy. I used to love the Cranberries.
Yeah, I
grew up loving the Cranberries. Yeah, Fish in a Birdcage, and they're all their catalog is they continue every album. So it's like
that's cool.
So it's like their third
Cody, right?
songs 10 through, or God, I can't remember.
They just keep going like 10 through 20 and then 21.
Yeah. It's like, so you start off at 25 when you get to album 3 or whatever.
Okay.
And it's just like, and it's just like the majority, they're pretty versatile on some of it. It goes a lot of places. There's a little bit of Andrew Bird essence in there at times. There's a few different things going on, but I personally like them more than any of the other stuff I referenced as an example. Like, I think that they're really, really good. So I recommend them highly. Yeah, I like them a lot.
So
these are good suggestions.
So I've heard a couple of bands between what we said, and there's a group I left out that I forgot about, and I thought about it as soon as, because you mentioned a couple of folks. You mentioned the Mars Volta, which I think you both like. I like too. And then there's also
I like Hair a whole lot.
Who'd you mention? It was you mentioned Devin Townsend. I don't think it was in one of your top 5s, but earlier you mentioned
Anastasia.
Yeah, yeah. And so I just found this group that it is in my current top 5 because I'm listening to them a lot, but it didn't. I only had 5, and this is number 6. But there's a band called Killer Be Killed. Like Killer Be Killed, and it's a super group, and it's like when I found, I was like, how come I didn't know about this? They got 2 albums out. So it's Troy Sanders from Mastodon playing bass and singing. Then it's the singer for Dillinger Escape Plan, which Devin Townsend was in, but it's not Devin Townsend, it's the other guy. I was confused. I thought it was Devin Townsend when I first heard it, but it's not. It's the other. I can't remember his name. Then the other guitar player, that guy sings and plays guitar, by the way, the guy from Dillinger Escape Plan. The other guitar player, Max Cavalera from Soulfly.
Sorry, damn it. I'm so pissed at my stage name. I should have had something cool. You're rattling off these badass names. What was his name?
The drummer is the drummer from Mars Volta.
Sarkon Volantiero.
Which one?
What was his name? Jesus Christ.
You know, Mars Volta has a different drummer like every time I see them, and every time I'm like, that's one of my favorite drummers of all time. Like, they keep finding the baddest. At the concert at Rockville, they had a female black drummer, and she was insane. And I thought every time they have a different drummer, and I'm like, how do they keep finding these insane good drummers? Like, because you have to be really good to drum for Mars Volta.
Honestly,
the drums are a huge feature.
I bet they're poaching from gospel drummers. If you've ever heard a gospel drummer, dude, they can play anything. The best, I mean, just insane. Gospel.
Well, those Latin beats that are under it all too.
David Eltich is the
Mars
Volta drummer. He was in Mars Volta 2009, 2010.
So that was the first album that I fell in love with them.
We saw them at the Tabernacle.
Deloused in the Comatorium. It was that era, I believe.
Yeah, we saw them at the,
is that the one with the widow on it?
Tabernacle, yeah. The Widow.
That was the Mars Volta song that really stood out.
What's the tagline for that in the song itself?
Oh man.
Exoskeleton.
Exoskeleton. Yeah, that's the song I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah.
This is the first song I heard. which was really slow and drawn
that
out.
one, and there's another one. You have become. Hey, oh god, it's so good.
So that album is one of my favorite albums of all
what was
time.
the other one on that album that was
period.
Now I'm lost.
That's all on that album.
Yeah, I know.
Everything
it's a great
you're
album.
referencing that album, and I didn't like it the first time I heard it. I was like, these guys are so disappointing. I was really hoping for more, and then
they kind of get me a little like too like a little shaky when you listen to them, that album.
It's a lot of noise.
It's a little
my favorite kind of music is the kind that you don't like at first, and then you come back and say, "Hey,
Get Him to the Greek" made fun of it, right? They're like, I got this new band. He like hits the Mars Volta song.
Oh, really?
Like, turn it off because it's just like
so intense.
It's
not for everybody.
He's like, these guys are really great. The album's like turned up way too loud.
Same way, a buddy of mine, Jesse, was like, "Man, this is my favorite band. I want you to check them out." He turned it on. I was like, "Turn that off. Turn it off."
Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
Some voices are acquired taste. It takes a bit to get used to it. Honestly.
Look, I like hearing a good trash can falling down a hill as much as the next fella. But that shit's got to turn the hell off.
Cody took me a bit to get used to.
It grows on you, and then you're like, man, I get it. All of a sudden, it's like, oh shit.
Honestly, I think Rush opened me up to a lot of different types of singers, like just being okay with.
I did not like Rush when I first heard it, but it was one night smoking weed with my uncle as a young person,
impressionable,
and he played Rush for me because it was his favorite band.
Ash
and was like, "This is amazing." I was a teenager, I mean, I was.
I mean, the first time you hear Rush
captivated
on weed, man,
that did it for me. Korn was the same thing, except it wasn't weed; it was something else. And then
Korn covered something recently that was really good. It was really well done.
Really?
Yeah, they like 3 years ago they put something out, and it was a really good cover. It was a song you would never think they would do. Hey,
that's
Google that,
always
Jamie.
The best for that. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not
like straight up. Now tell me, do you really want to love?
No, it wasn't that good. It was something. It was okay.
As Speaking of Kill Clouseau, guys, we're at that hour mark. I know I'm a jerk. We'll do more of these. I hope so.
We do every week.
What I'd like to do though, if we could, before we exit out, is I did have one more clip from another Kill Clouseau song, Trace, and I was hoping we could cue that up, revisit that for a second, and then say our goodbyes. And
I'll revisit that chav suit that I wore. Oh,
yes, it was a beautiful suit. We did this at the storage facility that Defy the Tyrant was practicing in, along with, oh my God, what was the name with Michael Nixon, Mark Hayes' band? Ego Suite. Ego Suite was in there as well.
Yeah.
And you'll see, Jeremy Taylor's in there for a second with Ian spitting in the cup. I mean, this is just a quick, great random grab. But we had tons.
Wasn't Defy the Tyrant. It was Death Defy.
Thank you. Oh my God, dude. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's Death Defy.
Death Defy.
Total flow. I'm sorry, guys.
Hey, it started with a D. That's pretty close.
Ian is in there.
Ian's in there. It starts with a D.
I'm sorry, that was my bad. Thank you for the correction. But what was fun is even if you guys want to check out the full video, it's on YouTube. But even in this little clip, you'll see these. Yeah, we'll put the link in the description, and you'll see these quick little clips of other bands back from really at this point, like 15 years ago. And it's because it was we filmed at one of the first barbecues that Jason Sauer put together. And we brought the cameras out, and we got a ton of the bands in the video through that. So here's a little.
You had the banana necklace on.
We were trying so hard to just include
history. I was
that banana my son made out of paper mache. Yeah.
With that, honestly, with that song, we were trying to do something pretty big in town, or at least include everyone that had made music in town like worth it for us, or helped us keep going, and kept putting on shows. And their ambition. Bands like that with that kind of ambition, it's contagious. And that kind of ambition, if you don't have it, you have to have someone else that's kind of you can feed off of, like a guitarist, videographer, editor.
It was like a hopeful. I mean, the barbecue in itself was like this beginning point that felt like something's really starting to happen here. Like all of us are going to break out of this town. We're going to put this Tallahassee on the map.
And all music became free.
And then all music became free. So here's a clip of this free
and then
music.
The Fire Nation attacked.
By the way, it's a sham. Are you still there?
You have to use me.
The end right there. That's
Jason Sauer was in there, you know. I mean, and AJ, you know. I mean,
everyone, man. It was
there was a moment in time in the rock scene in Tallahassee, and it was like everyone was just budding. It was so hopeful.
It was. No,
we're all gonna become rock stars.
You helped
together.
You helped us. You know, in this town, you helped us kind of realize it, or at least like try a tiny bit.
Yeah, I mean, the growth from that was still the same cameras used from the first video with Dog Days, but that was like 3 music videos later. So I'd grown that much, you know, in that amount of time. I was still starting to do some paid work too. So I was starting to get the hang of the video thing. And that was the first green screen work that I ever did too. Right. And which is not at all my forte. Yeah. That was, we did it terribly. I had so many hurdles.
It looked like you were so well versed in the like graphics and effects. Then no, I'm just kidding. I like Cue the Muses looks so much better. Like you've grown great, and so is your software.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. And I'm learning on the job with Cue the Muses too. Like all the effects of our new envelopes of being pushed that I'd never done before. I'm learning while I'm going for the VFX part. Obviously, I've made a lot of music videos. All that I feel very
really
confident
good, man.
with. But
just so you know, and I on a personal note. I watched like everything you put out, even if I don't care about the content, just because it's always pretty at the very least.
Thanks.
It's very nice to look at.
Thank you.
Not that I've, you haven't put out anything where like I dislike the content. I'm just saying it's a guaranteed beautiful experience every time.
Thanks.
So the eye for detail matters. And I mean, hell, I even watch your like tech videos and stuff and all your,
I'll basically see a comment from you every now and then.
A course online, like for free right now. It's just, me wearing a lot of hats. You have a lot of proof you wear a lot of hats.
Right,
I have to.
For someone who doesn't wear hats.
Right.
Yeah, I don't wear hats. This is true.
And
I guess actually, thanks for bringing that up, guys. If you are curious about learning how to do video making, I do have a YouTube channel. Just look up my name. Ash Von Shamia. I do have a lot of, it's all free lessons, just talking about editing, cameras, running a video business, all the way up to
prosumer, like up to professional. Like you cover the very wide gambit on the videography front. Honestly, thanks, across the board, it's really you built your way up from the bottom, and but you still have respect for the stuff you started with. Just the videos we showed tonight. You couldn't do what you did with Cue the Muses if you didn't start with Dog Days.
Oh, 100%. I've been doing videos for 20 years now, man. Isn't that crazy?
Well, hey, life is nothing without obsession.
I know.
That's John Waters. True. And
I like that.
It's legit.
That's good stuff.
Takes 10,000
That's a beautiful
hours to
way,
master it, right?
Beautiful way to close this out.
Beautiful way to close it. I was
For
gonna
sure.
say. That Roger Waters statement is
life
right
is
there.
nothing without obsession.
Without obsession.
You hear that, guys? So think about that, embrace it, endorse it, become it. And
love you guys.
We love you. Yeah, great. We'll see you on the next episode of Cue the Muses. We will most definitely have Cody back. We'll have.
I hope so. I had a blast.
Oh yeah, great, man. Awesome. All right, guys.
Good talking to y'all.
Out.
Peace.
See ya.